let's talk about electrolytes. Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm back in the kitchen this weekend, and for good reason really, because we're talking about nutrition. So this week I got asked if we really need to have electrolytes, or are they just an expensive con? Now, for me, that's a great question. So, as I like to say, let's get into it. As we exercise, we lose body fluids and the electrolyte sodium, which has a crucial role in maintaining blood plasma and fluid balance within the cells. Basically, in training, if you're not drinking fluids with adequate sodium, you're in danger of dehydrating quicker, which can cause certain physiological symptoms such as reduced plasma volume and blood pressure, reduced skin blood flow, which means it's going to be tougher to cool yourself, and it increases your body temperature through exercise, and also increases your heart rate and your perceived effort of the exercise that you're doing. It can make you feel a bit dizzy and lightheaded, and it can give you very poor cognitive function, and that's going to affect your decision making, which, if you're doing longer events, can be a real problem later on in the event. So, how do you know if you're dehydrated? Well, look, if we talk about it in geeky terms, the greater concentration of your osmolality of your urine, the more dehydrated you are. Now, the simplest way to figure this out is using a colour chart which can determine your hydration status. This urine chart shows it best. It's advisable to maintain your urine colour around about 2. Let's talk rehydration strategies. To rehydrate, plain water is not the best rehydration drink, as it flushes out sodium within the body and reduces the stimulation to drink, and also increases urine output. So when you hear your cycling mates say things like, "I don't often drink on the bike," or "I pee a lot, I must be well hydrated," what it really is showing is that they aren't that hydrated at all, and that their sodium plasma levels are too low. So how much sodium do you need? To maintain fluid balance, make sure that your sodium intake is sitting between 1000 milligrams and 1500 milligrams per litre of water. Now, I know what you're going to ask next, but what about the other electrolytes such as potassium, calcium and magnesium? Do we kind of really need these as well? Well, the answer to that question is yes, we do. These are necessary for normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles. We also lose these when we sweat during exercise, so it makes sense to replace them. Let's do some myth busting. Does coffee dehydrate you? Well, look, the answer to that question is no. Yes, okay, teas and coffee both have diuretic effects, but the dehydrating effects of these are outweighed by the volume of water and milk that you consume alongside them. Here's an interesting fact for you, that glucose and sodium both increase the absorption of the fluid across the small intestine. So things like sports drinks with electrolytes are ideal rehydration strategies because of their electrolytes and glucose, which helps pull water into your cells quicker. So to cap off with, electrolytes aren't an expensive con. You need to pay particular attention to your sodium intake when you're training to maintain fluid balance, because if you're just 2% dehydrated and sodium depleted, you're going to have a really bad day in the saddle. Righty, so that's it for this week. If you like the content that I'm putting out on the Velo Performance channel, please look, hit like, share this with your friends, and also don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell so you can stay in touch when I post anything about nutrition, training, hydration, or some of the epic things I'm going to be doing over the summer on a bike. Right, well, I'll speak to you next week.